Good morning, and good morning. Hello. Welcome to Melrose Unitarian Universalist Church. Our service today is called The Power of Fun. Hello, everyone. I am the Reverend Dr. Suzanne Intriligator. My pronouns are she and hers, and I am so glad to be back here in person with you this week. Our theme for June is celebrating blessings, and it is indeed a blessing to be together in this beautiful place on this beautiful morning, and with our friends on Zoom as well. After worship today, our coffee hour will be out on the front lawn. There is no potluck lunch. There had been one. It has been canceled, just to be clear about that. Next Sunday is our last gathering of the year here in the sanctuary, and that's when we celebrate our traditional flower communion. This year, we're going to try to move away from our dependence on store-bought flowers. So if you could try, please, to remember to bring something from your garden. It doesn't need to be in bloom. Bring a maple branch or some holly or some herb cuttings. These are actually Christmas decorations. But we want something living, and these are not. We're trying to make a native natural bouquet. Thank you. I also want to remind you that next Saturday, June 11th, is the Opening Doors Festival down at the Cabbage Patch in front of the middle school, starting at 3 p.m. Alistair MUUC will be performing with Reggie Harris, plus Cleo will be singing with the Boston City Singers, and our friends at Follow Your Art, like Chris Rodolico and Jane Foley, will be leading a town-wide cooperative art project. There are free tickets at openingdoors.net, so please be there. On June 19th, from noon to 2, is our annual church picnic. This time we'll have it at Pine Banks Park by the playground. We want to provide drinks and sandwiches, but we are looking for a volunteer to coordinate that. If you can serve in this way, please talk to Dan Griscom. Am I having some kind of weird feedback noise? Thank you. Okay, good to know. Then on June 24th, please be sure to tune in to watch our youth, Ellie, lead worship. Should I just ditch this? Oh, now it's on. How's that? That's good. Thank you. All right. I was going to say, on June 24th, our youth here, Ellie, is going to be leading worship at GA. And so everyone should tune in and see that. She'll be leading worship in front of thousands of people. The link for that is in your midweek update. Across the summer, I am pleased to announce we will be offering a bunch of fun activities on Sunday mornings. There are 11 Sundays, and 11 volunteers have come forward. It's a miracle. They will be leading fun things like watercolor painting, nature walks, and cooperative games. Eric Lambiasa will be sharing a schedule in coming weeks and in the midweek update, which we will keep publishing all summer long. So every week you will know what to expect on Sunday. Lastly, we have 2 more announcements from members of the congregation. First, Florence, who is our incoming chair of RE, wants to tell us something about RE, and she'll be followed by our incoming board vice president, Liz Folzer. So Florence, come all the way up to the lectern, please, so we can get you on camera. And feel free to take off your mask if you want to.
Good morning. I'm Florence Cordovano, MUUC's newest chair of the Religious Education Committee, and I'm happy to announce that the RE Committee, with the Committee on Ministry, will facilitate a congregational conversation about the future of RE at MUUC. The first session is open to all and will be hybrid. You can join us here in the sanctuary or via Zoom following worship on Sunday, June 12th. And parents currently raising youth pre-K through high school will be invited via email to a Zoom-only parents meeting that'll be held on June 13th. So in the evening, so please keep an eye out for that email. The RE Committee was encouraged by the evident passion for RE during our recent annual meeting, and building on that enthusiasm, we look forward to an RE reset that reinvigorates the program. We hope to see you, and thank you for your continued support.
Good morning. My name is Liz Folser, and I am mostly inhabiting my green sanctuary role today. We're outside planting with the kids. But right now, I'm here talking to you as the incoming vice president. One of the things that's important to me is that when someone does something for the church, renders a service, gives a gift, that we say thank you. And we have located Tara's iPad. It's all right, it's all right. We found the iPad, that was what we were trying to do. All right, so I'm the incoming vice president, and by the way, when we say that I'm gonna be the vice president next year, Dan Griscom wants you to know that means July 1st. He's done. So, and so I've been thinking about how I could say thank you to Dan and how we as a church could say thank you to Dan. And it's been a long couple of years, Dan, and so it's going to be kind of a long thank you. Jenny has some stuff planned for next week. But what I did was I took out a note card and I sat down and I just wrote out what it really meant to me. And I'm here today to encourage everyone here in the church, on Zoom, and in our community to do the same thing. Just take out a note card, a postcard, a piece of paper, just write a couple of lines about what it has meant to you to be able to gather together in worship during this pandemic, and send it to Dan. We have Dan's address taped to the coffee hour table outside. You can just take your phone and take a picture of it. You can also find everyone's contact information in the directory, which is on the members only page of our website. If you need login credentials, contact the office. And if neither of those work for you, just send them to the office over the summer and we'll make sure that Dan gets them. So, Dan, you know, 4 years ago, I had another hat. I was chair of nominating, and I called you and asked you to be our vice president. And I thought it was a good choice then, and I was thrilled that you said yes. But at this point, I just don't think there could have been a person with a better temperament and a skill set to guide us through this pandemic. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Florence. And thank you also today to today's ushers, Wendy Mastronardi and Liz Meyer, and to our coffee host, Mary Delahanty, who is also being helped by Beth Yergrau today. Thank you to all our volunteers. Now it's time for our weekly moment of greeting. Everyone in the room, look at each other, wave, shake hands, hug if you would like, and let's say hi to our people on Zoom. Hi, people on Zoom. It's great to see you. You're all looking really good. It is a beautiful day, and a beautiful day to be together. I am sad to say that overnight there was another mass shooting. Our world is full of sorrow and pain, and yet somehow in this service, I'm going to ask us to recall and renew our capacity for joy, for fun even, to hold this contradiction in our minds and actually to bless this contradiction. I call us to worship with these words by Francis Ward Weller. The work of the mature person is to carry grief in one hand and gratitude in the other, and to be stretched large by them. How much sorrow can I hold? That's how much gratitude I can give. If I only carry grief, I will bend towards cynicism and despair. If I only have gratitude, I'll become saccharine and won't develop compassion for other people's suffering. The work of the mature person is to carry grief in one hand and gratitude in the other, and to be stretched large by them. Now, to light the symbol of our living faith, it is our longtime member And our collector this year, Wendy Mastronardi. Thank you, Wendy.
The flame we kindle in the chalice of faith holds blessings of warmth and light and life-giving energy. It shines forth a beacon to guide us all home. It possesses the power to shape a world where equity and compassion reign supreme. May this warmth and light and life-giving energy celebrate the blessings we have all claimed and help us extend them in hands and hearts that offer these blessings to all.
Right. Our opening hymn this morning is Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing, which is 126 in the gray hymnal. We will also show lyrics, of course, behind me and on Zoom. Please rise in body or in spirit, and let's sing together.
Please remain standing and join together in the words of our covenant, which are on the screen, followed by the song of aspiration. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. This is our great covenant, one with another and with our God. Thank you. You may be seated. As the eagle-eyed few who read the midweek update will know, my sermon today is about how to bring more fun into our lives. So in that spirit, Tara and I wanted to use the story time this morning to play a game with you all. Are you up for playing a game? All right, excellent. Okay, so here's how it will work. On this beach ball, Tara has printed a bunch of prompts. We're going to just toss it around, and wherever your hands land, you can read that, whatever color you're on, and you can do that, or maybe one hand is on a different one. Just choose. Some of them are fill in the blanks, and other ones are silly things like make an animal noise. I am looking forward to blank. One of my favorite things about MUUC is blank. So we're going to just toss it around and play this silly game and do what it says. If you don't feel like playing, feel welcome to just whack the ball away, make somebody else do it. If you really want to play, go ahead and stand up, and then people can aim at you and make sure that you get part of the game. Folks on Zoom, you can play along amongst yourselves. Tara is putting in the beach ball prompts into the chat box now, so you can go ahead and type your answers back into each other. Or you can go ahead and play with the filters on Zoom, put on silly hats as you like, or grab something out of your real environment, put that on, or something silly to show. Okay, who's ready to play? Tara? Oh, good catch.
I am looking forward to gardening this summer.
you, thank you, thank you. Today is bouncing all over the place. In addition to the ball, we are bouncing from fun things to meditative things all over. So now it is time for us to take our prayer time together. Each week we take a few minutes out for prayer and meditation, a time for each of us to center ourselves and connect with our highest ideals, our inner selves, our sense of the holy. Let's start by relaxing into our chairs, feeling our feet on the floor, letting our bodies settle in, and enjoying the lovely noises of the younger people around us. It's all part of the beauty. Let's breathe in and out together. In this meditation time, first we'll join together in our centering song, then we'll sit for a few minutes of silence, then we'll speak to one another of our joys and sorrows, then I will lead a prayer. Our worship theme for June is celebrating blessings. It's a time to notice the richness of our lives, to give thanks for all that we've been given. Our centering song for the month is called "Oh, We Give Thanks," and Tara will lead us in singing, and Jenny too, yeah? Thank you.
Our centering the song this morning is "Oh, We Give Thanks." When we sing this month, or at least 2 weeks, one person will lead, "Oh, we give thanks." You got it. So repeat after Jenny.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Every Sunday, we share with one another the joys and sorrows of our lives, the personal milestones in our journeys together. We listen to one another with openness and compassion, letting the sharing weave us into a stronger community. First, if folks on Zoom have a sorrow to share, I invite you to go ahead and type it into the chat box. I will read them. And then I ask people in the room, if you have a sorrow to share, to come forward now. You can go ahead and line up. Do our ushers have any that were submitted on paper? Then come forward. Go ahead. Thank you. I am looking for our Zoom sorrows now. From Jean Tay. Candle of concern for my daughter who was diagnosed with COVID. She has cold-like symptoms since Friday. We are hoping for a quick recovery.
This is from Florence Cordovano. Candle of love and support for my dearest friend Heather, facing cancer after losing her beloved husband Scott 6 months ago to the same disease.
I'm Mary Beth Griscom. This is a candle of hope and concern. I hope that the world doesn't turn their eyes away from the situation in Ukraine. I know it's been 100 days by this point that they were invaded. And people are still suffering, people are still dying, and the world needs to recognize and help.
Candle of concern for my parents. My mother got COVID about a month ago, and now my father has it. They're both about 90. They're doing pretty well, all good reasons for being vaccinated and boosted. And I'm heading out a week from Wednesday to visit them for a family wedding. So we're hoping that everyone recovers quickly.
My name is Susan, and I'm lighting a candle of sorrow and concern for my mother, who was just diagnosed with congestive heart failure and admitted to the hospital last night.
My name is Gosha, and this is a candle of concern and also hope for a friend who was just diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, even though 6 months ago she had a clear mammogram. So very aggressive.
I just want to light one more candle of concern. I mentioned a shooting that happened overnight. It was in Philadelphia, I think on South Street. 3 people died. I think I've got, I've got the ones off Zoom. So I just ask us to hold all these concerns in our hearts and our minds for a moment. Let us reach out to the people who have shared and other people in our lives who are hurting today so that they might know our kindness and our concern and our help. Jenny lights one candle for our concern for all of the sorrows that have been shared among us today, and also for the unspoken sorrows we carry in our hearts. Now I ask for your joys that you'd like to share. If people in the room want to come forward, people on Zoom, go ahead and type them into the chat. I got distracted because the people on Zoom were playing along with our game, and they wrote things that they are grateful for. Many said they were grateful for Tara and that they will miss her. Grateful for our OWL program, for Alistair and opening doors. Grateful for the Passover service. One of my favorite things is when Tenby is in the service. There's some other cute things there. Come forward, Beth, if you've got a joy to share.
Well, since I'm the only one up here, this is pretty good because I have 3 joys wrapped up and highlighted in one weekend. So next weekend is my husband Tug and my 40th anniversary. But we won't be together, at least that weekend. We will be together after that. But I will be at my 50th high school reunion in Connecticut, and Tug will be off on a father-son 3-day hike celebrating my son's upcoming wedding on August 13th.
Thank you, Beth. Let's see. Oh, from Cheryl, a candle of joy that today is recital day for Anna and Lily. Looking forward to watching them shine on the stage today. They have worked so hard this year on their dances. And from Nyla, my daughter Elise was able to walk in her college graduation from Mount Holyoke College last Sunday, postponed 2 years because of COVID. And from Christine Shirey, a joy, my husband, Bill Dowdle, had successful, minimally invasive back surgery this week. We should soon be a 2-upright-person household again. Good for you. And I'm just going to check to make sure I didn't miss anything. Ginger is grateful for fun. Christine is grateful for MUUC on Zoom. Thanks to everyone who makes it possible. Beautiful gratitudes. It's wonderful that people have so much to share. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your joys. They help connect us as a community, and they remind us all of our many blessings and all that we have to be grateful for. Go ahead, Jenny, please, and light one candle out as a beacon of gratitude for all the blessings in our lives. I just love it when the toddler play zone is being used. It makes me happy. Please join me in the spirit of prayer. I offer the words of my colleague, the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage. Spirit of life, eternal, beloved of mystery and grace, receive our prayer. We come before that which is greater than ourselves in gratitude for the fullness of our lives, for the anguish and grief that informs our mission to side with love again and again, for the suffering and disenfranchisement of our people that foments our passion for justice and wholeness, for complex lives, for hard lives, for real, full, and overwhelmed lives. We give thanks for the blessings that have been given, the reassurance of community, the steady warmth of hope, and the unwavering faith that there will be better days. We give thanks and seek your grace. Spirit of love, come alongside us with all the holy nudges that we need so that we may live in such a way that we celebrate all the blessings that we have been given, so that we may be blessings to the world. Amen. Now is the time for our offertory. Our church is a self-supporting organization funded entirely by your generous annual pledge. You may also contribute to our weekly collection plate, which we split every month with a good cause. Folks on Zoom can donate either way using the orange button in the top right corner of our homepage at melroseuu.org. For June, which is Pride Month, our giving partner is NAGLY, the North Shore Alliance of GLBTQ Youth. NAGLY provides a safe space and a strong community where youth of all sexual orientations, gender identities, ethnicities, cultural backgrounds, classes, and abilities are welcomed and celebrated. Half of our collection this month will go to NAGLY. Back in the 1950s, the Indian mystic Mahir Baba used to cable his followers in the West the simple message, "Don't worry, be happy." In the 1960s, this short little expression was printed on inspirational cards and posters, and then in 1988, the composer Bobby McFerrin came upon it, and he was inspired to write this song, which we have chosen for our offertory today. This version was produced as a song around the world by the group Playing for Change. Catherine Price, the author of the book The Power of Fun, asked 1,500 people across all ages and backgrounds, people from all over the world, to describe experiences that stood out in their memories as examples of true fun, with a capital T and a capital F. For our reading today, here are 6 brief responses to that prompt. If I could have my 6 readers come forward, please. These are little moments of pure fun. And here's the mic right here, and it's already on. You can take off your mask if you want.
I have number 1, so I... Oh. Playing drums with my husband playing guitar and our 2 teenage kids on bass and keyboard. Whenever I go down to the basement to practice, they drop what they are doing and join in. There's not a lot of talking, but we communicate on another level. We laugh after each song because we're not very good, but we keep trying.
The first thing that came to mind was squishing mud through my toes. I'm not sure the most recent time I've done this, but I suspect my sense memory is from sometime in high school, along a particular path and probably with my friend Margaret.
Dance class, we do things like swish imaginary bathwater, squawk like a bird, move as though our feet are in marshmallows.
Playing fetch with an exuberant, silly dog. This was last week. I'm 32.
I was in middle school. My mom and I had just revamped my bedroom into a pink Parisian oasis. True story. On my first night in the new room, my mom and I had a sleepover with cookies, fancy pajamas, and long conversations where we could only speak in British accents. We laughed all night long.
When I was 20, I went on a volunteer exchange to remote northern Siberia. One weekend, we visited a children's camp, singing, playing, and splashing in a small lake. I could not speak their language. They could not speak mine. It was the most unadulterated joy of my life.
Thank you, readers. When the author Catherine Price talks to groups these days about her book, The Power of Fun, she always starts by asking the groups, when was the last time you felt truly alive? Usually these days, she says, she is answered by complete silence. Some of this reticence might be due to shyness, of course, but it's happened often enough that I'm confident something else is going on, namely, that we're all out of practice, both in terms of seeking and prioritizing true fun, and in terms of paying attention to it when it does occur. She goes on, modern life, at least for Americans, is not set up for anyone to attract true fun. The consequence is that many of us, adults and kids alike, are having so little true fun that we have forgotten what it feels like, to the point that we don't even realize what we're missing. Unquote. I found that shocking and sad, really, and also a spiritual issue. I mean, if we have indeed all forgotten what real fun feels like, if we've forgotten what it feels like to be truly alive, that's a spiritual crisis. I was tempted to start this sermon not by telling you this anecdote, but by doing what she says, asking all of you, can you remember the last time you felt truly alive? Or can you remember any moments in your life where you felt true fun? And I would love to hear your responses. but I also didn't want to put anybody on the spot. I didn't want us to be stuck in silence. Also, I decided that was unfair because I myself don't know how to answer that question. I don't think I can remember the last time I had true fun, the last time I felt truly alive. And if I can't answer that question, it is not fair for me to put you on the spot like that. So let's start off gently. What exactly is this true fun that Catherine Price is talking about, and what is it that we are missing? Of course, in any book or conversation, it's important to start by defining your terms. The trouble with the word fun is that it's been so overused, it's almost meaningless at this point. Fun can mean anything from mocking someone, as in making fun, to anything at all that isn't work. If you Google how to have fun, you get suggestions all the way from roast a turkey to build an altar to a loved one who has passed to watch a documentary on climate change. Catherine Price in her book mentions a magazine article that recommended such fun activities as shopping for school supplies and adorning your table with gourds. So Price turned to academia for answers, but it turns out that almost no one has actually studied what it means to have fun. She quotes a 2017 paper, quote, "The word fun does not appear in any emotional or social psychology textbook or handbook of which we are aware." So Price looked up the word fun in PubMed, which is the search engine for the National Library of Medicine. She writes that one of the top results was a paper titled "Putting the Fun in Fungi, Toenail Onychomycosis." So that's how bad it's gotten. Our definition of fun now includes toenail fungus. It's pretty bad. So she decided we could use a useful definition of fun. She set out to create her own, but she wanted it to be objective, not subjective. So she built this team to help her called the Fun Squad. And this is the 1,500 people from around the world, all different ages and occupations and situations. And she asked them to describe experiences that stood out in their memories as examples of true fun. And then also to add how old they were when it happened, what they were doing, and who they were with. And you got a little sample in the readings this morning. And they're all so different. Everybody with different ages, activities, different kinds of companions. So Catherine Price spent just months sorting through all these testimonies, looking for a pattern. And she came up with a rubric. True fun, the kind that energizes you and makes memories that last a lifetime, is a confluence of 3 elements: playfulness, connection, and flow. Playfulness is a spirit of lightheartedness and freedom. It's doing something just for the sake of doing it, not caring about the outcome, being carefree. Connection is the feeling of having a special shared experience with someone or something. The something could be your environment or nature or your pet or your own body. But most often the feeling of connection in true fun is connection to other people. Even introverts report this to be the case. Surprisingly, most introverts experience true fun not alone, but in small groups. Even introverts want to feel connected. The third element of true fun is flow. This is the feeling of being engaged, engrossed in something, so engrossed that you lose track of time. And flow is about no judgment, no self-consciousness. It's about getting lost in music, a game, a conversation, a project, and therefore getting lost in time, but getting grounded in the present moment. So if you have playfulness, connection, and fun, you have true fun, the kind that makes you feel fully alive. And I think that's a pretty great definition, but I still can't find an example in my own life. Can you recall a moment where you stood at the intersection of playfulness, connection, and flow? This is the time in a sermon when I usually stick in a story, either about myself or someone I know, just to illustrate the point of the sermon. But even after I thought about it for a week, I couldn't come up with a story, which just means I just really need a vacation. And one is coming up any minute now. The nearest I can get to a story about true fun is a time last week. It was a beautiful day, and I went to a neighborhood swimming pool with 2 of my 3 kids. And we basically just bopped around there for a couple hours, as you do. We tossed beach ball. We played monkey in the middle. We did handstands. We dove down to the bottom to pick things up. There was definitely playfulness there and connection. But I don't think there was flow, actually, because I never actually got so engrossed that I lost track of time. And I did actually go over and check my phone twice to look for email. So maybe I ruined the flow? Catherine Price would say, yes, I did. I ruined the flow. I later learned that this is one of the main points of her book. We can't achieve flow if we are distracted by our devices. If phones are around, or TVs, or even radios, we are not paying real attention to the activity or the people that we're with. Distraction destroys flow, and it damages connection. We have this idea that we can multitask, that we can check our phones quickly or have the TV on in the background, but it's really actually impossible to pay real attention to 2 things at one time. Humans can't actually do it. We often forget that attention is our most precious resource. Annie Dillard wrote, "How we spend our days is how we spend our lives." When we give attention unwittingly, we waste our lives. When we give it intentionally, we can change lives. Catherine Price reports that many of her Fun Squad folks reported their most precious childhood memories were adults like grandparents who lavished attention, and that made all the difference in the lives of kids. The famous philosopher Simone Weil once said, "Attention taken to its highest degree is the same thing as prayer. It presupposes faith and love." So, upon retrospect, I think if Catherine Price could have seen me at the pool, she would say that I broke the flow. And I get that now. Maybe next time I go to the pool, I will put my phone away, decide that I will not look at it for 2 full hours. I mean, what could happen? For me, the other great lesson of this book, and one that I hope I can practice this summer, is the distinction Price makes between true fun and fake fun. For her, fake fun is all the things that we are sold to us as fun, but don't actually pass the test of playfulness, connection, and flow. We get an initial hit of pleasure maybe from fake fun, but it ends up being draining, not uplifting. Number one offender here is social media. It feels like fun now and then, but it becomes addictive, and we lose hours and days that end up feeling wasted. And also, we get caught up in judgment and comparing ourselves with other people. And judgment is a big fun killer. Even simply liking is a form of judgment that can leak into our fun and spoil our playfulness or our flow. Other fun killers disguised as fake fun are things that we do to numb ourselves, like drinking, drugs, shopping, overeating, even binge watching or doom scrolling the news. They can be mindless habits, things that we think are fun or somehow relaxing, but in the long haul, they are really draining. They keep us stressed or depressed. And over time, the real problem is they make us forget that better, more uplifting forms of fun even exist. The point of Price's book is to become aware of the hours that we spend on fake fun and reclaim them instead for true fun so that we can feel joy in the moment and be energized by it enough to keep finding joy, the joy that is our human birthright. She wants to stop the vicious cycle and instead create a virtuous cycle. Price writes, "It became clear to me why fun is such a powerful tool for building a meaningful life, and why not treating it as a priority can leave us so vulnerable to technology's thrall. Simply put, the pursuit of fun requires us to decide how we want to fill our days. It demands that we identify what makes us feel the most alive." So quickly, how do you do that? Well, you just look at your memories of true fun and think, are there common elements here? Whatever they are, invite more of that into your life. Experiment with things like that. Explore and try again. So I end my sermon with a vow to myself and to you. This summer, I vow I will put down my phone, I will turn off the TV and connect to all the people that I love, and even maybe some I don't know yet. And I will do some things or many things that are ridiculous and joyful and silly. I will dive to the bottom of the pool, build a house of cards, do a jigsaw puzzle, squeeze some Play-Doh. I will ignore my email, lose track of time, forget about work, aim straight for the intersection of playfulness, connection, and flow. And I will reclaim the hours of my life, pull them away from fake fun, and use them for true fun. And I wish the same for all of you. I am now waving over you a magic wand that is the power of fun. May it inhabit you too. May it be a blessing to all of you this summer and all of your days. Amen. And we close today with a hymn that proves that the universe wants us to have fun. You got to do what the Spirit says do. It's number 1024 in the Teal hymnal. Please rise as you are able or willing or just plain feel like it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for putting up with that. I appreciate you. Please remain standing and join me in the words of our chalice extinguishing. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the spirit of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you. Go ahead and sit. Our service has ended. Friends on Zoom can stay in the Zoom room, and folks here can enjoy a beautiful postlude. Thank you, Tara, and thank you, Paul.